Welcome once again to an episode of Wiki Weekends. I am your host for this episode, Lucas Holland, and of course we are joined by the lovely Karl Smallwood.
I'm not lovely. Actually, you know what I am. You've got to read the comments, man. You've got to read Reddit. I'm a prick.
Well, of course, yeah, but everyone on Reddit's a prick, aren't they? So it's the rule of Reddit is like no positivity allowed.
You're not allowed now.
We've got to stick with some more spooky-esque themes for this month as we are recording in October at the moment.
The spookiest of seasons, yes.
It is indeed. And today we are going to be talking about a Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. And can you think of the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery who might be the most on theme for October?
But it's going to be either the Hobgoblin or the Green Goblin. I'm guessing the Hobgoblin.
It is, of course, the Hobgoblin.
I always forget, the Hobgoblin's like Harry Osborn, right?
So the Hobgoblin has been Harry Osborn at one point, but we are talking about the main Hobgoblin, which is Roderick Kingsley from Earth 616.
No one ever stops to talk about how weird it is that Spider-Man just has two villains called the Something Goblin. Because the Hobgoblin is objectively a way cooler name than the Green Goblin. Because we know he's green. Let's just call him the Goblin.
And obviously we will get into it, but I do believe that the Hobgoblin normally is like a follow-up to the Green Goblin who's found his tech or whatever, similar to how Harry Osborn did in Spider-Man 3 when he became the new Green Goblin.
No, when he gets a surfboard.
When he gets that cool-ass surfboard, Carl.
To be fair,
don't you love that as a glider?
It looks pretty rad. It's just the thing of the Goblin glider was 15 years of bleeding edge technology in one thing, and somehow Harry Osborn, who we know for a fact sucked ass at school, redesigns it because he copied off Peter, doesn't he? He redesigns it into a skateboard without any effort.
It doesn't look very Goblin-y. He takes the Goblin out of the Green Goblin.
It would have been Goblin-y though if he was when he did kickflips and stuff. It just went heh.
At least it's still somehow better than the Goblin that we got in Amazing Spider-Man.
Isn't it just where, I forget the name of the actor, but they basically just gave him, shit teeth and painted his face green?
You were my friend, and you betrayed me!
Not talking about Harry Osborn, talking about Roderick Kingsley.
Roderick Kingsley. Rod King. That's a name right there, isn't it?
We have a quote from good old Rod King. I'm going to miss Claude. Fantastic manservant. He made a terrible Hobgoblin, but he made the best boulabars? I don't know how to say that, but it's food. But some sacrifices have to be made, just not self-sacrifices. Ah well, time to lay low again, to plan, to scheme, to rise anew. Have your victory today, Osborn. You earned it. To you, my old foe, and to goblins everywhere. So it appears that Hobgoblin is a foe to the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I remember, the only thing I really know about the Hobgoblin is that there was this whole thing of who is he? Because he's just some dude rocks up and absolutely cleans Spider-Man's clock with all this goblin shit. Wait, where did he come from? And he's just a dude.
Yeah,
it's just a dude who found some tech and is I'm the Hobgoblin.
Of course, Roderick's current alias is the Hobgoblin. Aliases are code names. Devil Spider, Devil Spider.
That's pretty rad, yeah.
That's a good one. And then the only other alias he's got is the black sheep of the Goblin family.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah, because they ended up there's a whole Goblin dynasty, isn't there?
Family, apparently.
Because I guess the thing is, it's silly, a guy flying around on a floating pumpkin, throwing Halloween shit at people, but it is a very strong visual. As silly as it looks, it is a very strong visual, and I love the fact the bright orange cape and the fact that Spider-Man's really, dude? This is what you want to do with your time? You just want to dress up like a fucking knobhead and fly around throwing pumpkins at people?
If I had the opportunity, I'd probably do it too.
That's why I like the Raimi verse as well, because if you look, the bombs that he throws are orange with green on top like a pumpkin, and it's I know what you did there. You didn't want to have a pumpkin bomb, but you did make it look like a pumpkin, and I respect that.
The thing is, they didn't want to make it look like a pumpkin bomb, but then you pan to the Goblin, and it's full Green Goblin, comic-esque, and then yeah, but pumpkin bombs would be too far.
To be fair though, I would just love to see if if that like Osborn gets accepted, like his pitch, and just like see an army of Green Goblins, that'd be terrifying.
That
Like,
would be.
can you imagine if you got his like a combat encounter and the 50 Green Goblins come in?
Because he was obviously only selling the glider, wasn't he?
And the suit that goes with the glider. I think he makes the mask to hide his
It's
identity.
like a combat suit, but then I love the idea that each of the gliders comes with the full like goblin helmet, so they're just an army of goblins.
Well, something me and Brad talked about recently is that might be one of the hardest things to believe about that movie universe, where they go to see, like, they go to Osborn, and they see, like, oh, we've seen the glider already, we're thinking about going with that other company, it's like Star Industries or something, don't they say? Have you developed the formula yet? And he's like, no, the formula's not perfect, but the glider works. And like they say, no, we're going to fire you, we're going to go with Star Industries. And they show you Star Industries' like solution to the Goblin glider. And it's a man in what is amounts to a fiberglass coffin with rockets on the bottom.
Mark.
It might as well be that moment in Iron Man 2 where they show how incompetent all the other companies are.
Okay, it's gonna be a left switch. Left is going to turn to the right. Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Wow.
But they show like that the military drops Osborn, like Oscorp, as like their supplier to go with the other industry. And they show you what they've built. And it's the guy, he hovers like 4 foot off the ground. And then the Green Goblin glider comes in and in 10 seconds obliterates not only it, but a fortified military bunker with 2 shots. How was that? When they say, well, the glider's not what we're interested in, why not? That looks terrifying. It literally deleted the competition in less than 10 seconds. And Osborn had never used it. His
And it
first
comes
time using
equipped
it.
with like bombs that turn people into insta-skeletons.
Yeah, I always found it funny as an adult watching it back, where they say, he goes, if you can prove to me this works, I'll drop Oscorp tomorrow. And you see him hover 4 foot off the ground. It's like, how is that preferable to the glider, which gives you like absolute unparalleled mobility?
And I was looking through just, the relationships, affiliations, nothing interesting really. Like, it says like, the Ravencroft Institute, formerly the Sinister Six, Kingsley Limited, the Hob Heroes, Avengers, and Legion Accursed, but like none of them anymore. But I do like the Hob Heroes.
The Hob Heroes. Because that's always the problem with like this many like decades of character. Eventually, every villain has like a turn and becomes a good guy for a little bit. And I do wonder what it's like if you're in the Avengers and like, I don't know. Okay, Iron Man's off, so we've got like the Hobgoblin and like Red Hulk for a little bit. And it's like, really? I'm stuck with this jobber.
And yeah, he's pretty male, 5'11", 185 pounds, blue irises, grey haired. Nothing massively, important other than the fact that he's a human enhanced with the Goblin serum, of course. And it's funny because you did talk about the outfit, Carl. Can you guess his occupation?
It's gonna be something stupid. That's like doesn't explain why he has all these like abilities. Is it like Mysterio, which is like a special effects engineer?
No, it's not, but it does explain why he has such a sick outfit. He's a fashion designer and CEO of Kings Unlimited.
What? Okay, I'm down. All right, I've completely turned around. He's a fashion designer. I'm now imagining when they say like, Kingsley's came out with this new like bold line, and it's just like he walks down the catwalk in the Hobgoblin outfit. Or imagine like supermodels on the Goblin glider doing like 900s wearing the dresses. I'm 100% sold. Done.
It's kind of a weird outfit, but I really like the Hobgoblin aesthetic.
A little the worse for wear, but the important thing is, it's mine now. All mine,
I think it works because it's so obnoxious and he leans so hard into the gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd work if he didn't lean into the gimmick of like, no, fuck it, I'm wearing bright orange.
Yeah.
I'm wearing bright orange and throwing pumpkins at you out of a knapsack. Do you know what I think as well? So have you seen like the She-Hulk show?
Yeah.
And they talk about like, was that like fashion designer dude who's like, yeah, I've got a side gig as like designing costumes for superheroes, which I think is a really cool gimmick, and I want to see that as like not a full show, but I want to see like a 2-episode miniseries about that guy.
It's when they had those one-shots that they used to do.
Yeah,
It'd be really cool to see like
those.
one-shot series of him designing different outfits and like just getting, different people coming in. Like, one episode is like Shang-Chi coming in and being like, design me a sicker outfit.
It's like, can you work with dragon scales? It's like, I don't know, give it a go.
Yeah.
It reminds, like, basically, we could have the Edna Mode show.
Combustion imminent? What does that mean?
It means fire, Robert, for which the suit has countermeasures. I suggest you extinguish the baby's flames before he trips the sprinkler system.
She's a multi-millionaire. Like, she is like success and wealth beyond comprehension, but she's like really unfulfilled. And like, you have Mr. Incredible asking, he's like, well, why would I not be? I literally used to design clothes for gods.
Yeah. And now I'm just stuck designing regular fucking clothes.
And like, yeah, and that's such an interesting concept of the person who designs outfits for superheroes, of like, not only do you want to like, make them look good, but you also have to take into account their powers. Like when he makes like the dress for She-Hulk, it's like, I need a dress that can be like, fit me when I'm like this, but also fit me when I'm 7.5 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Like, where's that? And like, we could have this dude in, bring him in, and make that guy the Hobgoblin.
This one. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
This is a waste of my time and my talents. Please get out.
Kingsley acquired the Green Goblin's original suit and equipment from a bank robber being chased by Spider-Man.
Oh, and he gets it.
So he's being chased by Spider-Man. He's like, oh shit, dude, take this. And just like throws the Green Goblin's equipment at him.
Do you know what I don't get? If he was a fashion designer, why did he choose orange and green? They're like the ugliest two colours to combine.
There's orange and blue, isn't it?
I guess. Do you know what it reminds me of, though? Are you familiar with the Hellfire Gala, which might be the best like recurring thing Marvel does at the moment?
No, I'm not.
So they have this thing they say in Krakoa every couple of months. It's once a year, but because they like doing it, it's like happened like 5 times in the last like 3 years. That the Hellfire Gala, and they say that like superheroes from across the world just rock up, and they bring in actual fashion designers in our world to just design outfits for like superheroes.
Oh, cool.
And they are always the fucking coolest redesigns you have ever seen.
That sounds really interesting.
It's like, see if I can just find. So while you're talking, we'll like try and find one of like, we have like the Colossus one.
The thief had discovered one of many hideouts that Norman Osborn used. Just like found one in the sewers and is like, sick, let's steal this shit. Kingsley made him load a van with the equipment and then transferred it from the hideout to another location. And then he disposed of him by detonating a bomb hidden inside the van. So even as just like Kingsley, he was fully ready to just be like, you know what, let's steal this Green Goblin equipment and then blow up the guy that got it for me.
Do you know what? Incredible. I get it. Like, go have a look at like how cool Colossus looks, though.
Let's have a look.
Look how Mystique. Look at Mystique.
Oh my god.
And yet they do this every single year, and they just have a bunch of actual fashion designers come in and say, make the X-Men like look he's wearing like Louis Vuitton.
They looking fucking incredible.
Oh, look at Cyclops, looking like a Jedi.
Yeah.
Cyclops looking like a Jedi. Like, not all of them work, but some of them just look so good. Now imagine if they did like a mini series of like that fashion designer dude and get a bunch of superheroes. You could even have a bunch of references.
Yeah.
Of like have superheroes who aren't in the show yet or in the MCU yet, and have people dress like them, but like these super high, like, these couture fashion versions of like Cyclops and the X-Men.
That'd be sick. I mean, you've got to wait until we get the X-Men in the MCU before that, but still.
Well, that could be the reference, couldn't it? You'd have a guy.
You could do it with other people first, yeah. This guy goes straight on like full villain immediately.
Well, isn't that the thing they say? That's why a lot of Spider-Man's villains are like rich people, because like they've already got the sociopathic tendencies that allow them to reach the top of the business world. And it's just the instant they get a taste that they can have even more power, they immediately give in.
Feeling deficient in lacking the physical power to protect himself, Roderick sought out the original Green Goblin formula. However, he needed a guinea pig before he could test the formula on himself, and he found one in a petty crook, Arnold Lefty Donovan.
See, I would have preferred it was an actual guinea pig, and you had a little hobgoblin guinea pig. Can you imagine? It's a little hobgoblin guinea pig flying around.
And yeah, he then just sent Donovan to fight Spider-Man. and just monitored the progress in the fight against Spider-Man, and he was satisfied with the test. A satisfied Kingsley had his test subject terminated. So he immediately went, right, let's go find some petty theft dude, like some petty crook, inject him with the formula, make him go fight Spider-Man, and then when he did a good enough job, he just murdered the dude.
How is it that this, like, I've never heard of this dude, but he's somehow more ruthless than the Kingpin?
Modifying the formula to avoid the insanity-inducing side effects, Kingsley found that it gave him the strength roughly equal to that of Spider-Man's, which again is probably Spider-Man while he's holding back. Because I can't imagine he's actually as strong as Spider-Man, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Do you know what I want to know as well? At what point, when he was in, like, you know, fashion school, did he learn how to tweak the Goblin formula?
Yeah.
I get it, he's a smart dude, but he's very smart in a very specific way of, like, you know, business and fashion design.
Like, he doesn't seem to have any foundation to be able to alter chemical formulas to avoid insanity side effects.
But what about if he did, though?
His strength perhaps surpasses that of the Green Goblin. He battled Spider-Man again and the Black Cat. And then, after a fight with Spider-Man left everyone assuming he had drowned, Roderick decided that the direct criminal approach wasn't for him, and then brainwashed news reporter Ned Leeds into thinking that he was the Hobgoblin.
Again, when did he learn how to do hypnotism? So here's the thing as well, like, the fact it takes him, why do you even need to try and directly confront Spider-Man to realize it's a bad idea to be a criminal in New York? Even if you didn't encounter Spider-Man, there's like 15 other like superheroes. He can see Avengers Tower from his office. Surely, like, he must realize that flying around like a jackass, throwing like fucking grenades in a public square is going to result in someone noticing. Like, you're already a multi-millionaire. Why do you need to be a criminal?
We normally don't go through the full story, but these next few paragraphs seem really like quite interesting. It seems to go all over the shop with the Hobgoblin.
Okay.
It says, bored, then bored, with being a behind-the-scenes mastermind and finding Leeds increasingly uncontrollable, Kingsley outed his puppet's identity, placing the reporter in instant jeopardy. So we just went, oh yeah, Ned Leeds is actually the Hobgoblin.
Do you know what that is? That's a baller move, that. Because how are you going to be able to deny that you're the Hobgoblin when someone just comes up and goes, well, we've found this big Hobgoblin outfit in your closet?
It just says, the next line, after Leeds was murdered. It's like, right, okay, shit. During an overseas newspaper assignment, Roderick's twin brother Daniel was shot by agents of the Rose under the impression that he was like Roderick, as in he was Roderick Kingsley, yeah.
Oh, because he's got an
he's got an identical twin brother that took the bullet for him by accident.
Like, conveniently identical twin brother, let's go.
He then saved his brother's life, later renouncing his American citizenship to become a citizen of Belize instead. So he just fucked off out of the country, which more Spider-Man villains need to do.
That's the thing, like, especially when it's the Kingpin and he's like a huge fucking weeb. Go to Japan.
Then the Hobgoblin identity was assumed by Jason Macendale, and he was at first amused by this, but then he became annoyed when Macendale brought about the unwanted publicity in pronouncing Leeds as the original Hobgoblin, with the public generally believing that only one person had ever worn the disguise. The resulting scrutiny now threatened to uncover Kingsley's unsavoury business practices. So, of course, he has to come back and, like, rescue his name?
Do you know what this sounds like? Not very well thought out.
No.
It sounds like they just wanted to bring the Hobgoblin back.
Yeah, and then he returns to New York, murdering Macendale and reclaiming the Hobgoblin identity. However, determined sleuthing by Ned Leeds' widow, Betty Brant, uncovered his trail. Yeah, because, like, Ned and Betty, like, that's why they were together in Far From Home.
Oh, we broke up.
No, what? Why?
Men and women grow apart, but the journey they share together will always be a part of them.
So Betty Brant uncovered his trail, discovering the villain's secret pedigree with the Spider-Man's help, ultimately leading to Kingsley's defeat and imprisonment. Upon Norman Osborn's undoubted return, Kingsley leaked word of having proved Norman was the original Green Goblin, claiming possession of one of Osborn's own journals. In actuality, a ruse manipulating Osborn into removing him from jail. The two clash shortly thereafter, so he's just like basically being like, yeah, I want Norman Osborn to break me the fuck out of jail.
So I'm gonna threaten him, where I threaten to release his identity, so then he'll break me out to beat me up, but then I'll beat him up and run away. Do you know what this reminds me of? It's like one of the funniest things they've ever done in DC, where I think it's one of the Injustice comics where Superman just tweets out Bruce Wayne is Batman. And just like you see Batman's reaction to it, he's like, wait, what the fuck? Too far, Clark. And it's like, what are you going to do? I'm Superman.
Although resulting in a stalemate, they both benefited from the encounter. Osborn taking over Kingsley's corporation, while Kingsley escaped to the Caribbean, retaining secret accounts Norman wasn't aware of.
Do you know what I think would be better? I think it'd be better if like Kingsley took over Oscorp and turned Oscorp from a weapons manufacturer into a fashion designer.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So speaking of which, Luke, do you want to go back to Discord and look at? We've got Doctor Doom, Professor X, and Captain America. Like, look at fucking pimp.
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom is like absolutely fucking like styling. The Captain America one's good, but Lucas, do you want to see Venom? Do you want to see Venom in a tuxedo?
What does fashion Venom look like?
There's fashion Venom. He's got a tuxedo.
Oh my god! It's just that's just Venom decided the symbiote should look more fashionable.
I think the best one though is like Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel, that should be a default costume.
Oh yeah.
I think they do this every year. And it's like universally agreed, this is the coolest thing Marvel does. Never stop doing this.
There's lots of obvious other side stories and stuff that Hobgoblin is part of, but we'll just go to like, you know, the final fun stuff of like the powers, abilities, and obviously we don't want to forget about like the paraphernalia as well.
Oh yeah, tell me. I guess his powers are similar to the Goblin, like superhuman strength, resistance to
so
like
it's
toxins.
the pretty generic set of powers. So it's like superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, healing factor, agility, and reflexes. And it's just like, he's just better.
Yeah.
He's just a better human. And then on the power grid, of course, you've got the scale of 1 to 7. 1 being a regular person and 7 being nigh godlike.
Yeah.
And then we've got intelligence and strength of 4, speed, durability, and energy protection of 3. Projection, I said that a bit more.
Yeah, it's the ability to produce energy from your own body.
And then fighting skills of a 2. So, you know, pretty like intelligent and strong, but otherwise like kind of middle of the board.
I guess he's just like, because you don't really need fighting skills when you're just that fucking OP.
And when you've got pumpkin bombs.
Yeah, so tell me about the pumpkin bombs.
So, you have to click on a separate page for like the pumpkin bomb page. But you've got a quote about the pumpkin bombs, and it's just, what kind of sicko throws exploding pumpkins?
Spider-Man. Really? You know Venom, he eats people.
No, that was from a character called Badrock.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who Badrock is, but yeah, just what kind of sicko throws exploding pumpkins? You know who does? Someone who wants to stick to a fucking theme, okay?
Yeah. Oh my god. Speaking of sticking to a theme, we'll check out the Miles Morales cover.
Oh.
Where he's just wearing... Oh, he's upside down.
Oh, yeah.
He's upside down. It's so fucking cool.
Oh, man.
This should be every comic.
No, it should be.
This is all we should ever do. Like, comics shouldn't be like stories anymore. I just want to see like all the characters that I love just drawn looking swagged out to the balls.
The pumpkin bombs, there's a big bunch of history on them, but you've got like alternate versions of like the Carnage bomb, where he was able to like create bombs augmented with symbiote biomass, which let him speak through them as well.
Do you know what I want though at one point? I want like a villain to come in who's just like baseball Batman. And all he does, he just hits you with a baseball bat in the back of the head, but he's got the Goblin glider.
In one alternate version, Green Goblin used classic pumpkin bombs until he was defeated by Venom. He then upgraded his pumpkin bombs with wings and lasers with pointers that could extend from their mouths. And he's just like little flying pumpkins shooting lasers at you. His transportation is a demonic glider that is similar to that of the Green Goblin, but looks fucking cooler.
Do you think they ever just like swap them over?
So he just looks like a big giant fucking scary bat, and it's like, yeah. Well, who is Hobgoblin? Well, he's the Green Goblin with a sense of fucking style about him.
Yeah, even though he looks way shitter, but that's kind of the charm.
Yeah, and it's like, but he sticks to a theme of like pumpkin bombs, like bat glider. And it's like he goes full Goblin. The fact that Hobgoblin, he's a dude that's a fashion designer, and they didn't think to make him one of the people that got a fashion redesign.
He might do.
He might do.
They do like variants for everything, but it's normally just like the heroes. Like sometimes the villains rock up. Like Venom rocks up, like with Mary Jane, and Mary Jane's wearing like her dress, but it's like spider themed dress.
Yeah.
And it's so good. I want this to be a thing.
Yeah, just a couple of notes to end on here,
So I've
Carl.
got to give it some trivia.
So for many years, the original Hobgoblin was believed to have been Ned Leeds, who died in East Germany. The stories which identified Ned as the Hobgoblin were written after the departure of the character's creator, Roger Stern. After more than a decade, Stern finally had the chance to reveal the truth. The Hobgoblin was actually none other than Roderick Kingsley, one of the hot suspects for the role at the time of the original stories. And it just seems to me that all of this is like some weird retcon bullshit of like, no, Ned Leeds was actually, like, he was the Hobgoblin, but then
He wasn't
years
interested,
later they
yeah.
decided, no, Ned Leeds died and now we want to bring Hobgoblin back, and actually it was like a puppet master all along. And then Kingsley is one of the few people who has consistently outsmarted both Norman Osborn and the Kingpin.
I bet the Kingpin really doesn't like that. Like, he's getting outsmarted by a fucking fashion designer.
But not fashion designer, a Hobgoblin.
Yeah. So he's got such a
because
dumb
he probably
gimmick.
doesn't know who he is until, like, obviously later when he gets revealed. But, like, just the idea. He's like, who is this fucking dude with pumpkin bombs that keeps fucking outsmarting me?
I just like the idea that every now and again the Kingpin looks out of his window and just sees Hobgoblin fly past. Like, fuck's sake.
It must be even more annoying, though, for Norman Osborn.
Yeah, 'cause he basically stole his gimmick.
He stole his gimmick and keeps outsmarting him, and he's like, who the fuck is this Hobgoblin guy?
And it's like, and then you ask, like, he probably sees him flying past, like, who are you? He's like,
Oh, but yeah, that's everything we need to know about, like, the overview of the Hobgoblin, and I hope everyone also enjoyed the fashion show on the side.
well, every single one is phenomenal. Right?
Yeah, they
I'm
all
going to send
look
you
great.
one last one, and it's Storm. Because, like, she has
yeah.
the cape made of storm clouds.
Oh,
Like,
let's
look at that.
Oh,
Oh, good is that?
that's so fucking cool.
The thing is, that should be a part of her design, of a cape just made of, like, dark storm clouds. That's so fucking cool. I've never really thought about it before, but having Storm's hair look like a cloud and have lightning going through it is such an interesting idea for a redesign. We've
I
never
wonder
had
what
that.
happens when that cloak hits a toad.
Oh, same thing that happens to everything else, mate. There's also like an Iceman one as well, and he's rocking up in a limousine made of ice.
Oh, of course he is.
Can you imagine how cool that looks? 'Cause the thing is, though, he should rock up. I know, like, Iceman's gay.
With Emma Frost.
Yeah, I know he's gay, but he should rock up as, like, a boy toy. As, like,
Yeah.
just bros. But they should rock up in his ice form and her in a diamond form.
But, like, in an ice diamond limo.
Yeah.
Like a diamond encrusted ice limo, and they both just step out looking literally cool as fuck.
And then, like, Ghost Rider should rock up through the middle. He should melt the in half and walk through. Because Ghost Rider's got one as well, and he's wearing, like, the couture leather and the flame. He's like, oh, it's so good! There's a Rogue one as well, and she just wears, like... Of course, it's, like, half green and half white.
Of course it is.
Of course.
But yeah, anyway, while Carl continues to just
they're
go
all
down
just
this rabbit hole,
so good.
I'm going to say goodbye to everyone and thank you for watching.
Cheers, everybody.